It's working?
Got the page. I refreshed the page, so it's just loading real quick.
Hello?
There it is.
All right, so it looks like we're working.
Yep, we're live.
All right. Hi, Semester at Sea family. My name is Brandon McCabe, and I'm a maze artist. I sailed on Semester at Sea in 2010 as a student. Then I went back to work for Semester at Sea from 2013 to 2015 as an advancement officer in Charlottesville when they were located through UVA. I am currently the co-chair for the chapter rep of Charlottesville, Central Virginia chapter. So if you're in the area and you're alumni, please reach out to me. I'd love to connect with you. I served on the Young Alumni Council for a few years and was the liaison when I worked for ISE. Semester at Sea has been a giant impact in my life. So much so that it was actually the first place where I sold a piece of artwork. For the auction at the end of the year on Semester at Sea, I made a pen and ink drawing of a maze of the world, and that was the first drawing I've ever sold as an artist. Fast forward to now, I am making elaborate maze paintings. I paint shoes, I paint guitars, I paint murals. I did a 40-foot building. My resume is kind of all over the place. I paint mazes on anything and everything that I can. To give you an example of my work is this Semester at Sea maze behind me here. I'm going to bring the camera in closer to give you a better view. So this is a spray paint and oil painting. So I actually use oil pens to create the line work that you see here that makes the overall image. So you see Semester at Sea big in the middle with the start and finish sign. And there are two mazes in this that you can solve. There is the light blue and the light green together make one maze, and the dark blue and the dark green together make one maze. So you can actually go through and solve this in two different ways. Also hidden in the background are words. It says explore here, engage, ship, experience, community, which you all know is a giant part of Semester at Sea. Learn, Sea Olympics, culture, Neptune Day, voyage, discovery, Ubuntu, another giant Semester at Sea word, study, love, perspective, sail, crew. Everyone who's sailed knows what an integral part of the community that the crew is on Semester at Sea. Laugh and connect. So I chose those words because that was the feeling I got when I went back and thought about Semester at Sea and how I applied it to my artwork. I have prints available of this one that you can check out on my website if you'd like to and get a finer picture if you'd like to zoom in and play around with what that piece looks like. I first got started painting mazes when I was 26 years old. I never have taken an art class. I never took any electives in college or in high school. I was bored one day and just decided to put one on canvas. I always doodled them when I was in college, in high school, and all the way back to third grade. That was always my doodle of choice in the margins on the side of my work. And one day I was living in New York City and I was very bored, and I decided to go out and get a canvas and some paint markers, and I created a map of the world. I put it online, and since then I got great feedback. So somebody asked one to do in their restaurant, then somebody asked me for a private commission, and it kind of snowballed from there. And then I've been really active the past 2 years trying to work on my art as much as possible. I have really ambitious projects that I'm currently working on. I will go through a studio tour and kind of take you through these projects that I'm working on and talk to you and explain where I'm at creatively in the process. So here's some shoes that I've painted just for context. It's actually a solvable maze. The start is here, the finish is there, and you can go around the shoe, work on the pathway, and get to the other side. Here's the other shoe, just for reference. Here's a globe that I painted. It says, where am I? Where are you? And then there's arrows pointing in all different directions, starting to finish, two separate mazes on this globe that you can solve, 7 billion plus people. This piece is called Searching for Connection, just as we search the globe to find ourselves and to find the people that we care about most in this life. I also painted some skateboards. If you bring the camera over this way, it might be a little difficult to see, but this one says kick, very big. This is a triptych series, which just means 3 pieces next to each other to make one whole piece. And it says kick, really big. And then on the side, it says start and begin, hidden on the sides here. And this is 2 separate mazes on this deck. The next one goes to push. You might be sensing the theme here. And then the last one is coast. So when you put them all together, it says kick, push, coast. The popular Lupe Fiasco song about skateboarding, which is also, when you look at the lyrics, the song is about finding community. He found community within the skateboarding world. I have community within the semester at SeaWorld, and I'm also trying to find it within the art world now. So that's kind of the skateboard project I worked on recently. I have a guitar here that I painted. It has the popular Woody Guthrie quote on it, that this machine kills fascists. And then there's a bunch of musical notes hidden all over. And this actually has 3 separate mazes that you can solve on this guitar. Most recently, I've been working on a lot of kind of pop art pieces. This is the Monopoly Man hanging on a maze line with iconography of dollar bills all in the background. You'll notice that in most of my work, I tend to hide icons or words in the background that play to the theme of the overall maze. We'll bring up one more piece that I just finished yesterday, a couple days ago, is the SpongeBob kind of pop art piece. So it has SpongeBob really big in the center of the canvas. This is all acrylic, and it has him being swallowed and tangled with the maze pathways that you can solve. And a lot of the mazes, I'll start with this dotted line to kind of get you started. Because of my style of painting, I use an over-under technique similar to bridges and tunnels. And that allows me to create the effect of my paintings. So that's another piece that I recently finished. I'm also hoping to finish this piece in the next 2 days. This is just a fun circle canvas. Haven't worked on too many circle canvases before. It's just going to be a basketball, and the pathways are going to be all over. Just kind of a fun pop art piece that I'm working on. There's a small Bart Simpson piece that I painted where he's getting strangled by the mazes. I am currently working on this sketch of Gumby. As you might be able to see, he is getting completely tangled by all of the artwork, and his foot is actually growing, and his hands and his to be the smaller pathways, and then he's kind of getting swallowed into the painting. I will sketch this, ink this, then I will put it into Procreate and play around with colors on Procreate, because it has a really cool app that you can use on an iPad to ink and sketch drawings. Hi, Emily. I just saw your comment. So yeah, I'm really excited about this piece. I think it's going to come out really, really cool. If you look at my website, amazingartstudio.com, you'll see that there's a bunch of prints available. We actually have the semester at sea print available on there if you'd like. So it's that version that I went through in detail, except 16 by 20. I know there's a little glare because it's in this cool orange frame, but they look really great when you frame them and put them on a wall. And then a fun thing you can do when you frame them is you get a washable marker, and then you can sit there, draw on the plexiglass or glass of the frame, solve it, and then wash it off when you're done. Leave the washable marker next to the painting, and it creates an interactive work of art. I found my pieces to be conversation starters. Everyone looks at them and they have to ask, is it a maze? I say yes. Can you really solve it? I say yes. And they just, I have to talk through the process. So I found that it inspires people to ask a lot of questions and to be really engaged with the work. bringing it back, the main influences in my art are travel, literature, and existentialism. Semester C definitely gave me the travel bug. The spring 2010 voyage was definitely a pivotal point in my life. It completely changed the scope of what I wanted to do. Since semester at sea, I went on to live in Beijing for 1 year, and then I lived in Prague for 2 years. I've lived in California, Virginia, New Jersey, New York City. Just about every year I move somewhere new. And that stems a lot from semester at sea. A lot of the pieces that you can see on my Instagram page or on Facebook, you'll see the influence of travel in them. Next, the influence of literature. This painting just says, "So it goes." If there's any Kurt Vonnegut fans out there, this is kind of a piece that shows you how much literature means to me. I read a book a week, and I have for the past 5 years. It was a goal I set 5 years ago for New Year's, and I actually kept it. And it's something I hope I do every year for the rest of my life. So another literature influence is this print that you can see on the website as well. It's from Tolkien, from Lord of the Rings. "Not all those who wander are lost." And I think everybody on semester at sea can relate to this painting. This was originally done with spray paint and oil pens. And in the background, there's a lot of iconography about travel. So if I zoom in here, you can see the hiking man here, the bicycle, the bus, the suitcase, the signpost, the car, the train, the airplane, the camping tent, the sailboat. These are all just means of travelers to travel. And then there's arrows pointing in all different directions. So this was inspired by literature and travel combined into one here. And then the last theme that's in my work, existentialism, which basically boils down to you have complete control over your future by what you decide to do. And I use that narrative a lot in my paintings, from getting from start to finish. So at the beginning of the painting, you start, you run into dead ends, you have to loop back, you get lost, you're not sure where you're going. And I use that theme a lot expressed through mazes. So whether there's a quote or a SpongeBob, it just shows getting stuck, running into dead ends, and just keep trying, keep working on that person you want to be. I recently got back, just before we went into quarantine mode, I was in France for 3 weeks. I was at Chateau Orcoville, which is a artist residency that hosts around 200 artists a year in the remote Champagne region of France. So that was an excellent opportunity that I was able to capitalize on. I went there and met some amazing artists from all over the world. There was Canadians, Australians, Kiwis, a lot of Americans, some European people, and I just found that to be a great experience where what medium everyone worked in was different too. So there was writers, there were fine artists, there were maze artists, there were welders, sculptors, and I've just learned a lot from that experience. And I'm hoping to do a couple more residencies once this COVID-19 social distancing is lifted. And then to take you through a couple more of the projects that I'm currently working on, I have a show going up on the downtown mall in Charlottesville in a window display. So you can still see it during this social distancing era, as you don't have to be near people. You can just walk by and see it outside. And this piece over here is kind of a topographic map of Charlottesville, with the blue and the orange being very similar to the roads of Charlottesville, and then the green, white, yellow, and red are pathways that you can solve that are more of like walking routes. And I chose to do it on an unstretched canvas because I wanted it to look like a rug, as that will be displayed on the ground with a mannequin on top of it, and then some canvas pieces on the walls. So that's one piece that I hope to finish up tonight because I have to install it on Thursday. So on a tight timeline there. And then another piece that I'm putting the finishing touches on is this behemoth of a maze behind me. It is 10 by 5 feet, Might be difficult to see on Facebook Live, but it says, "Life is a maze full of literal interpretation." In the background is 100 different words that are all giant building blocks of our life today. There are 9 separate mazes. Each maze, each color is its own independently solvable maze. So the start and finish signs are on the left and the right, the quotes in the middle, and then all these words I'll bring you in closer to see. So you can see perspective, failure, education, pain, choices, culture, emotion, location, expression, travel, passion, effort, ambition, hope, music, morals, guilt, power, books, law, authority, upbringing, spirituality, intellect, injustice, laughter, luck, authority, change, self-care, politics, religion, all these giant building blocks of life that you have to navigate, I put as words in the background of this giant painting. So that's one that I'm just finishing up and pretty proud of. And I have a couple other exhibitions and shows coming up in the future. I am currently working on a children's book that will feature sloths. And then I am currently working on a coffee table book that I'm hoping to finish up during this COVID-19 era, since I have so much time on my hands. I've been working about 10 hours a day on that as well. So I'm really excited about that. I will share in the comments to the side some places to see my work if you'd like to see some pictures that are better quality so you can look more in depth on my paintings. So yeah, this was my quick little studio tour here in Charlottesville, Virginia. Again, if you are in the area of Central Virginia, definitely connect with me, as myself and Debbie Clifford will co-chair the Charlottesville chapter. So we would love to hear from you and for you to come to the events that we'll be hosting in the future. The most recent ones will probably be virtual, but we will have some events in the future as well. So thank you for going on this studio tour with me. I am very content to be here all day, so I've spent hours and hours and hours every day, and I'm looking forward to it. So please reach out to me if you have any questions, and stay safe during COVID-19. Thanks, Semester at Sea, and talk to you soon.